Unknown ship decloaks and joins the fight for Earth, HFY. Sensors were scanning for threats, communications channels buzzed with updates, and every officer knew that at any second the Zephyrian ships could strike again. The humans had already lost many vessels, and hope was running thin. Captain Lucas Grant stood on the bridge of the Aurora Sentinel, staring at the screen in front of him. His jaw was tight, his hands gripping the railing, and his eyes followed the glowing blips of ships darting across the holographic display. "Captain, we've lost contact with the horizon. They're in range of the enemy dreadnought," said Lieutenant Kara Mitchell, her voice calm but tense. She had always been reliable, and Lucas knew he could count on her. Lucas rubbed his face. "Acknowledged, prepare a rescue squad." "We can't leave anyone behind." His voice was steady, though his mind raced. The Zephyrians were ruthless. They attacked without warning, their ships designed to tear human vessels apart in seconds. Earth's fleet had fought bravely, but each battle left them weaker. Outside the window, the stars were silent witnesses to the chaos. Small streaks of light marked the paths of human and alien ships alike. Laser fire cut through the darkness, leaving trails of energy that seemed almost alive. Explosions flared, sending debris floating into space. The humans were fighting desperately, but they were losing ground. Lucas took a deep breath. "Keep your heads, everyone. We still have a chance. We just need the right moment." Suddenly, the sensors pinged with an unknown signal. All activity on the bridge froze for a moment. Every officer turned toward the screen. "Sir, there's a ship decloaking at the edge of the battlefield," said Kara. Her voice was cautious, almost afraid. Lucas leaned closer. The display showed a new blip, moving smoothly, almost like it was gliding rather than flying. Its design was strange, unlike any human vessel and unlike any Zephyrian ship they had seen. It was smooth, almost organic-looking, and its color shifted in the light. The bridge crew stared at it in silence. "Unknown vessel, should we engage?" asked Ensign Ryan Brooks, a young pilot who had seen too many battles already. Lucas shook his head. "Not yet. Let's see what it wants. Keep your weapons ready, but do not fire. Any wrong move could end us all." The crew watched, tense and silent. Time seemed to stretch as the unknown ship moved closer. Then, as if sensing their hesitation, it came to a stop. It hovered in place, glowing faintly against the black of space. The humans could see no weapons, no markings, nothing that could tell them if this was friend or enemy. Kara opened a communication channel. "This is Lieutenant Kara Mitchell of the Earth Defense Fleet. Identify yourself. State your intentions." There was silence for a moment. Then a voice came through the speakers. It was calm, human, but not familiar. "This is Clara Vaughn of the ship Ardent. I mean no harm. I am here to help." The words were simple, but they shocked everyone on the bridge. Lucas stared at the screen. He had been trained for decades, seen countless alien threats, and faced impossible odds. And yet he couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Verify your identity," he said. "How do we know you are not working with the Zephyrians?" There was a short pause. Then the voice answered, calm and confident. "I have been observing Earth for decades. I know what is happening here. I will fight with you against the Zephyrians. You have my word." The bridge crew exchanged uncertain glances. Could they trust her? Humans had been betrayed before. They had lost allies who claimed to help but ended up aiding the enemy. Lucas felt a flicker of hope, but also the weight of responsibility. Every decision he made now could mean life or death for millions of people. "Very well," he said finally. "We will monitor you closely. Any suspicious move and you will be destroyed." "Understood," Clara replied. "I will not harm you." Lucas turned back to the screen. The unknown ship had started moving toward the battle, positioning itself between the Zephyrians and the human fleet. Its movements were fast, precise, and unlike anything the humans had ever seen. The sensors picked up energy discharges from the ship, but they were controlled, calculated. It wasn't firing recklessly. It seemed to be studying the enemy, looking for weaknesses. "Sir, it's targeting the Zephyrian flagship," said Kara, her voice a mix of fear and awe. It's precise, almost like it knows exactly what to do." Lucas nodded slowly. "Keep your weapons ready, but hold fire. Let's see what this is capable of." The unknown ship struck first. A beam of concentrated energy shot out from its hull, piercing the shields of the Zephyrian flagship. Alarms rang across the alien vessel. It fired back, but its attacks seemed slow, almost uncoordinated. The humans watched in amazement as the Ardent maneuvered around, striking again and again, disabling weapons, cutting power lines, and creating chaos in the enemy formation. The human fleet seized the opportunity. Pilots who had been pinned down now launched attacks with renewed courage. The Zephyrians, confused by this new variable, struggled to respond. Explosions lit up space, and the humans began to feel hope for the first time in weeks. "Sir, it's incredible," said Ensign Brooks, his voice trembling. She's changing everything." Lucas did not respond immediately. He was focused, analyzing every movement, calculating the risks. But even he could not deny what he was seeing. Humanity was gaining ground, not because of superior firepower, but because of an unexpected ally and the humans' ability to adapt. As the battle raged on, Lucas thought about Earth below. Cities burned, millions of people were in danger, and yet up here in space, a new hope had arrived. He realized that humanity's strength was never just in their weapons, but in their courage, their ability to fight against impossible odds, and their willingness to take risks when others would falter. "Prepare a full attack squad," Lucas ordered. "We move in coordination with the Ardent. Follow her lead, but stay sharp. She's fast, but we need to cover each other." The crew worked quickly, organizing fighters, targeting enemy weak points, and moving in sync with the unknown ship. The Ardent led the charge, and the humans followed, inspired by its speed, precision, and determination. In the heat of the battle, Lucas caught glimpses of the enemy pilots through the communications network. Fear and confusion were visible even in alien voices. They had not expected this. The humans, once thought weak and disorganized, were now coordinated, attacking with cunning and courage, and the presence of the Ardent made them seem unstoppable. As the first phase of the counterattack ended, Lucas allowed himself a moment to breathe. The Aurora Sentinel had survived another wave, and the humans had inflicted serious damage on the enemy. The bridge crew cheered quietly, though they knew the battle was far from over. Kara leaned over the console. "Captain, she's incredible. Do you think she's human?" Lucas shook his head slightly. "I don't know, but she's on our side, and right now that's all that matters. Keep your focus. The fight is not over, and we need every advantage we can get." Outside, the stars continued to shine, indifferent to the war unfolding beneath them. Ships moved like tiny lights in the darkness, some exploding, some maneuvering, all caught in the struggle between survival and annihilation. And at the edge of the battlefield, the unknown ship, the Ardent, hovered with calm confidence, ready to tip the scales in humanity's favor. For the first time in weeks, Lucas felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, Earth could survive. And he knew deep down that whatever happened next, the humans were about to show the universe that they were not weak, that they could fight, that they could endure. And that no one, not even the most advanced alien empire, could underestimate them again. The battle above Earth had shifted, but it was far from over. The Zephyrians were smart, and they quickly realized that the unknown ship was not just another human vessel. Lucas Grant watched from the bridge of the Aurora Sentinel as the alien fleet hesitated. They no longer attacked with the same confidence. Something about the Ardent had confused them, and the humans were using that moment to push back. Lucas turned to Lieutenant Kara Mitchell. "Keep track of the enemy movements. Watch their formations. They'll try to adjust." Kara's fingers flew over the console. "Yes, sir. They're breaking into smaller groups. Looks like they're trying to surround us from the sides." Lucas frowned. "Not if we can help it." "Alert the fighters. We'll split their attention and take out their smaller ships first. Focus on coordination. Stick with the Ardent's movements." Outside, the Ardent moved with a grace no human vessel had ever shown. Its energy beams struck with perfect timing, disabling multiple Zephyrian ships at once. Human pilots followed her lead, dodging enemy fire and striking with whatever weapons they had left. The sight was exhilarating. For the first time, the humans were not just defending, they were attacking with purpose. Ensign Ryan Brooks leaned forward, eyes wide. "Sir, it's like watching a master at work. She's amazing." Lucas nodded without taking his eyes off the screen. "She is, but stay alert. Amazing doesn't mean invincible." Clara Vaughn, the pilot of the Ardent, could feel the weight of the battle pressing down on her. She had spent years in observation, waiting for the right moment. She had trained herself to fight alone, but now she was fighting with humans she barely knew. She scanned the battlefield, analyzing every enemy move. The Zephyrians were dangerous, fast, and deadly, but they were predictable in their arrogance. They underestimated humans. That mistake would cost them. The Ardent launched a series of precise strikes. One Zephyrian cruiser attempted to flank the human fleet, but Clara moved like a shadow, intercepting it before it could reach the smaller human ships. She fired energy beams in short bursts, disabling the enemy ship's engines. The cruiser spun out of control, colliding with another alien vessel and creating a chain reaction. The humans cheered silently, though every second counted. Lucas barked orders. All fighter squads follow her lead. Target weak points. Move together. Do not panic. We win this if we stay coordinated. The human pilots responded immediately. Their fear was still there, but it was now mixed with determination. They saw hope in the Ardent, and that hope gave them courage. Even the youngest pilots, who had barely survived their first battles, found themselves moving with skill they didn't know they had. Humans were adaptable, and in the face of death, they could perform miracles. Clara noticed a Zephyrian dreadnought moving toward Earth's orbit. Its weapons were massive, capable of destroying entire cities from space. She knew the humans couldn't defeat it alone. She activated a new system on the Ardent, a set of energy disruptors she had been developing in secret. The device sent out a pulse that temporarily disabled the dreadnought's weapons. The alien ship froze in place, confused, unable to fire. "Sir, she just neutralized their dreadnought," Kara said, almost unable to believe it. Lucas clenched his fist. "Good, now we hit them hard. All ships target the disabled ship. Focus fire." Human cannons roared and missiles streaked through space. The Zephyrian dreadnought shook under the combined attack. Clara maneuvered the Ardent around the enemy ship, striking critical points and creating openings for the human fleet. The battle was still dangerous, but the humans were gaining momentum. Amid the chaos, Lucas noticed a small group of Zephyrian fighters moving toward a civilian transport fleet. He didn't hesitate. "Kara, redirect the interceptors. Protect the transports at all costs." Kara nodded, issuing orders to the fighter pilots. Small ships darted through the battlefield, weaving between explosions and enemy fire. Their goal was clear. No human civilians would die today if they could prevent it. Clara noticed the movement and adjusted her course to cover them. Her presence made the humans more effective, and they could save the transports. One of the young fighter pilots, a woman named Mia Jordan, was struggling to keep her ship steady. She had seen her friend blown apart in the first wave of the attack, and her hands shook over the controls. Clara noticed her and came close, her voice calm over the comms. "Mia, follow my lead. Don't try to think, just move with me," Mia bade. She felt a strange sense of calm as she matched the Ardent's movements. Together, they intercepted the Zephyrian fighters, destroying them before they could reach the transports. The civilians were safe, at least for now. Lucas watched it all unfold, pride swelling in his chest. Humans were fighting not just with weapons, but with courage. They adapted, they learned, and they refused to give up. The Ardent had become more than an ally. She was a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, humans could rise. But the Zephyrians were not finished. They regrouped, concentrating their remaining forces for a massive strike. Lucas realized that the humans had only bought a small window of time. They needed to act fast. "Clara, can you handle their main fleet while we push forward?" he asked over the comms. "Yes," she replied confidently. "I can keep them off balance, but you'll need to finish this quickly." Lucas nodded. "Everyone, this is it. Focus all fire on the lead ships. Protect the fleet. Humanity will not fall today." The human fleet surged forward. Energy beams cut through space, missiles struck with deadly accuracy, and the Ardent moved like a phantom, striking at enemy weak points. The Zephyrians were caught in a storm of human ingenuity and determination. Their advanced technology was powerful, but it could not match the will of the humans fighting for their home. Clara noticed the enemy flagship trying to retreat. She calculated the trajectory and fired a precise beam at its engines. The ship spun out of control, unable to escape. Human fighters closed in, attacking with everything they had. The Zephyrians were powerful, but they could not match the humans' determination. Lucas saw the outcome becoming clear. "All units push forward, do not let them regroup." The humans pressed their advantage. Explosions lit up the battlefield, and the enemy fleet began to scatter. The Ardent moved through the chaos, her energy beams striking with perfect timing, keeping the remaining Zephyrian forces off balance. Even as the humans celebrated small victories, Lucas knew the fight was not over. The Zephyrians had resources, weapons, and strategies he could not yet imagine, but for now the humans had gained a crucial advantage. They had survived the first wave, and they had shown that they could fight back. Kara turned to Lucas, a small smile on her face. "Sir, we're doing it. We're holding them off." Lucas nodded, but his mind was already planning the next steps. "Yes, but stay focused. The battle is far from over. We need to learn from this fight, adapt, and be ready for what comes next." Clara's voice came over the comms again. "Lucas, the Zephyrians are retreating for now, but they will come back. You will need every advantage you can get. Humans have potential more than they know. I will help you unlock it." Lucas felt a sense of relief, but also determination. He knew that Clara was right. Humans were underestimated, but they were clever, adaptable, and brave. With the Ardent at their side, they had a chance to survive and even win. The human fleet regrouped, repairing ships and tending to the wounded. Lucas walked along the bridge, looking at the tired but determined faces of his crew. Every pilot, every engineer, every soldier had played a role in the victory, and yet they all knew that this was only the beginning. Outside, the stars continued to shine, indifferent to the battle below. The debris of destroyed ships floated silently, reminders of the cost of survival. But among the humans, a new feeling took hold: hope. They had faced an overwhelming enemy, and they had not only survived, they had fought back. Clara's presence had changed everything. She was not just a powerful ally, she was proof that humans could inspire loyalty, even in others who were not part of their world. Her skill and confidence had shown the humans what they were capable of when they worked together and believed in themselves. Lucas knew that the road ahead would be dangerous. The Zephyrians would return, stronger and more determined. But for the first time, he felt that humanity had a chance. They were not alone, and they were not powerless. With courage, strategy, and a willingness to fight against impossible odds, they could survive, and maybe even thrive. As the fleet prepared for the next wave of attacks, Lucas looked at the stars and thought about Earth. His home planet was still in danger, but the humans had proven something important. No matter how strong the enemy, no matter how dark the situation, humans would fight. They would adapt, they would endure, and they would never give up. The unknown ship hovered nearby, its presence a reminder that help could come from unexpected places. And in the hearts of the humans, a new fire burned, a fire of determination, courage, and hope. The battle for Earth was far from over, but humanity had shown the universe that it would not be defeated easily. And somewhere deep in space, Clara watched the human fleet with quiet admiration. She had chosen to intervene, to fight alongside them, and she knew that the humans were more than they appeared. They were clever, brave, and unpredictable. They had something no other species had fully understood: the will to survive and the courage to face the impossible. The war for Earth had only just begun, and already humans had shown that they were a force to be reckoned with. The battle above Earth had paused, but only for a moment. The Zephyrians had retreated, but Lucas Grant knew it was temporary. They were clever, and they would return with reinforcements. The humans needed to use the lull wisely. Ships drifted in orbit, damaged but not destroyed, and repair crews worked quickly to restore shields, weapons, and engines. Lucas walked across the bridge of the Aurora Sentinel, observing the crew. They were tired, many had fought for hours without rest, yet their faces held determination. Every glance, every movement spoke of humans who refused to give up. He paused to speak to Kara Mitchell, who was monitoring the repairs and communicating with all squadrons. "Kara, how's the fleet holding?" he asked. "We're managing, sir. Most ships are functional again." "Some damage remains, but the fighters are ready to go back into battle if needed," she replied. Her voice was steady, though Lucas could sense her worry. Lucas nodded. "Good. Keep coordinating the repairs and keep the pilots alert. I want everyone ready if the Zephyrians return." Outside the Aurora Sentinel, the Ardent hovered silently, its smooth hull reflecting the light of distant stars. Clara Vaughn was at the controls, analyzing the battlefield. She had seen hundreds of wars from afar, but nothing compared to fighting alongside humans. They were unpredictable, often reckless, yet their courage made them stronger than any strategy alone could predict. "Clara, any new intel?" Lucas asked over the comms. "Yes, Captain. The Zephyrians are gathering forces beyond the asteroid belt." "It will take them time to reach Earth again, but they will not wait too long," she replied. Her voice was calm, confident, but Lucas could hear the intensity in her tone. "Then we need a plan," Lucas said. He turned to the bridge crew. "We can't just wait. We need to strike first, disrupt their preparations, and show them that Earth is not an easy target." The crew exchanged uncertain looks. Fighting in space was dangerous, and going on the offensive against a stronger enemy was risky. But Lucas's eyes held something they could not ignore: confidence. Humans had survived before by taking risks, and he was about to ask them to do it again. "Prepare a strike team," Lucas ordered. "We're going to hit their supply convoy. If we can destroy it, we slow their reinforcements and give Earth a real chance." The crew sprang into action. Pilots and engineers moved quickly, preparing ships and weapons. The human fleet was smaller than the Zephyrians, but they were determined. Clara adjusted the Ardent's course to join them, her presence inspiring the human pilots. She was not just a ship. She was a symbol of hope, proof that humans could overcome impossible odds. The journey to the asteroid belt was tense. Lucas walked among the crew, speaking to each pilot personally. "Remember, stay calm, stick to your training, watch each other's backs. We win as a team, not alone." Mia Jordan, the young fighter pilot who had survived the previous battle, nodded determinedly. She had learned much from the Ardent, and now she felt ready to face the enemy again. She adjusted her controls, checking her weapons and shields. Around her, the other pilots did the same, their faces set with focus and courage. As they approached the asteroid belt, Clara's voice came over the comms. "Captain, I'm scanning the area. The convoy is heavily guarded, but they're not expecting an attack from this angle. We have a chance to strike quickly and retreat before they can respond." Lucas felt a surge of hope. "All units follow the Ardent, strike with precision, and avoid unnecessary risks. This is not just a fight, it's a message. We will not be defeated." The human fleet moved into position. The asteroids cast long shadows across the battlefield, providing cover for small ships and making navigation tricky. Pilots weaved between the rocks, following Clara's guidance, who moved the Ardent like a phantom, striking with perfect timing. The Zephyrian convoy came into view. Their ships were massive, heavily armed, and imposing. But Clara had calculated their formation, noting weak points in their defenses. She sent out precise bursts of energy that disabled weapons and engines, creating openings for the human fleet to exploit. Lucas watched as the human pilots attacked. Each ship struck with determination, following the Ardent's lead. Explosions lit up space, and debris floated around like deadly confetti. The Zephyrians responded, firing with precision, but they were slower to adapt. They had not expected humans to strike so boldly, and it showed in their faltering tactics. "Keep moving, pilots," Lucas shouted. "Focus on the weak points, protect each other." Mia Jordan found herself in a dangerous position, her ship surrounded by enemy fighters. Fear gripped her for a moment, but then Clara's voice cut through. "Mia, move left, then climb." "Follow my lead," Mia obeyed, trusting the Ardent's guidance. Her ship spun, dodged fire, and struck one of the enemy fighters before moving back into formation. She felt a rush of adrenaline and pride. Humans were not just surviving, they were learning to fight like the universe had never seen. The battle continued. Human ships, though smaller and fewer, struck with intelligence, courage, and adaptability. They used the asteroids for cover, ambushed enemy ships, and coordinated attacks that made the Zephyrians falter. The Ardent was always at the center, a silent guide and a powerful weapon, showing humans what was possible. Lucas realized that the human strength was not in technology alone. It was in their ability to adapt, to think quickly, to fight even when the odds were against them. Every successful strike gave them more confidence, and the Zephyrians began to hesitate. Clara saw the enemy convoy's command ship attempting to escape. She knew that destroying it would cripple the Zephyrians' plans. "Captain, target the command ship. I can guide our fleet to take it down," she said. Lucas nodded. "All units focus fire on the command ship. Protect each other, strike together." Energy beams, missiles, and laser fire converged on the command ship. The humans moved as one, coordinated and precise. The Zephyrians tried to respond, but confusion and fear slowed them down. One by one, their defenses fell. The command ship shuddered under the relentless assault. Mia Jordan fired the final shot that breached the hull, causing a massive explosion. Debris flew in all directions, and the remaining enemy ships scattered. The human fleet had won a decisive victory, but at a cost. Several ships were damaged, and many pilots were exhausted. Lucas allowed himself a small smile. "We did it. We hit their supply convoy and crippled their command. This will slow their reinforcements and give Earth time to prepare." Clara's voice came over the comms, calm and approving. Well done, humans. You fought with courage and intelligence. This is only the beginning, but you have shown your potential. Lucas felt pride swell in his chest. The humans had not just survived. They had adapted, learned, and overcome a stronger enemy. They had shown that determination, teamwork, and courage could turn the tide of war. The fleet regrouped after the battle, repairing damaged ships and tending to injured pilots. Lucas walked among the crew, speaking to each pilot, offering encouragement and guidance. The humans were tired, but their spirits were high. They had faced an overwhelming enemy and emerged victorious. As the fleet prepared to return to Earth, Lucas looked at the stars. The universe was vast and dangerous, but humans had proven that they could fight, adapt, and survive. The Zephyrians would return, but now the humans had hope, skill, and a powerful ally in the Ardent. Clara hovered nearby, watching the human fleet. She had chosen to intervene to fight alongside them, and she knew that humans were more than they appeared. They were clever, brave, and willing to risk everything to protect their home. She felt a quiet admiration for their spirit. Lucas thought about Earth below. The planet had been threatened, but the humans had shown that they could rise to any challenge. Their courage, determination, and adaptability made them a force the universe could not ignore. The humans had learned much from the Ardent, but they had also learned something about themselves. They were capable of more than they had ever imagined. They could fight, survive, and even triumph against impossible odds. As the fleet moved back toward Earth, Lucas knew the road ahead would be dangerous. The Zephyrians would regroup, plan new attacks, and test the humans again. But for now, humanity had proven that it could fight and win. And that knowledge would carry them through the battles to come. Clara's voice came over the comms one last time before they left the asteroid belt. Captain, remember this, humans are not just survivors. You are fighters, strategists, and leaders. You have the potential to change the universe, but you must always believe in yourselves. Lucas nodded. We will. Thank you, Clara. Your help made all the difference. Outside the Aurora Sentinel, the stars shone silently. The debris of destroyed ships floated through space, reminders of the cost of victory. But among the humans, a new fire burned, a fire of determination, courage, and hope. The battle had been won, but the war was far from over. And in that quiet moment, Lucas understood something important. Humans were not just fighters. They were survivors, innovators, and a force that the universe could never truly predict. With courage, intelligence, and allies like the Ardent, they could face any challenge and endure. The stars above Earth seemed brighter as the fleet returned, carrying a message to the universe. Humans would not give up. Humans would fight. And humans would survive. The victory at the asteroid belt had lifted the spirits of the human fleet, but Captain Lucas Grant knew that the fight was far from over. The Zephyrians were clever and dangerous, and they would return with greater force. Earth's orbit was still a battlefield, and the humans had little time to prepare for the next attack. Lucas walked across the bridge of the Aurora Sentinel, observing his crew as they worked tirelessly to repair ships, reload weapons, and coordinate communications. The bridge hummed with activity. Every officer was focused, but Lucas could see the fatigue in their eyes. They had been fighting for days with little rest, yet their determination had not wavered. Kara, status report on the fleet? Lucas asked. All ships are functional again, sir. Repairs are ongoing, but we are ready to move if necessary. Fighter squads are fully operational and the pilots are motivated. Morale is high after the last victory, she replied, her voice steady but tinged with concern. Lucas nodded. Good, keep monitoring the Zephyrians. I want to know the moment they make a move. We cannot be caught off guard again. Outside the ship, the stars were quiet, but the emptiness of space felt tense. The debris from the destroyed enemy ships floated silently, a grim reminder of the cost of war. The human fleet moved carefully among the scattered wreckage, scanning for any remaining threats. The Ardent hovered nearby, its smooth hull reflecting the starlight. Clara Vaughn was at the controls, observing the battlefield with keen eyes. She had fought alongside humans before, but the courage and adaptability of Lucas's fleet impressed her. They were unpredictable, often reckless, yet their determination made them stronger than any advanced alien tactics. Captain, I've detected movement, Clara said over the comms. The Zephyrians are regrouping farther out. They are preparing a new attack. It will not be long before they strike again. Lucas clenched his jaw. Then we need to act before they can organize, prepare a strike plan. We hit them first, and we hit them hard. The human fleet gathered in a tight formation with the Ardent leading the way. Lucas addressed his crew, speaking with the calm authority of a leader who had faced impossible odds and survived. Listen up. The Zephyrians will come back with greater numbers. We cannot fight them one ship at a time. We will use strategy, coordination, and every advantage we have. Trust each other, trust your training, and follow the Ardent's lead. We can win this. The pilots nodded, their faces set with determination. Mia Jordan checked her controls, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. She had survived previous battles, and she knew that this fight would be even more dangerous. But she also knew that humans had something the Zephyrians could not predict: courage, adaptability, and the will to survive. As the fleet moved toward the Zephyrian forces, Lucas reviewed the plan. The humans would use a combination of stealth, speed, and surprise to disrupt the enemy. Small fighter squads would attack from unexpected angles, while the larger ships focused on the enemy's critical systems. The Ardent would coordinate the entire operation, using its advanced capabilities to guide the humans and create openings. The approach was tense. The Zephyrians had established a defensive perimeter around their main fleet, and their ships were heavily armed. Energy beams glowed across space as the humans advanced carefully, dodging fire and navigating the debris field left from previous battles. Clara's voice cut through the comms. Lucas, focus on the command ship. It is heavily shielded, but if we disable it, the rest of the fleet will falter. I will create a path for you. Lucas nodded. Understood. All units stay close to the Ardent, follow its lead, and watch for openings. The human fleet moved in formation, weaving between enemy fire and striking with precision. The Zephyrians fired relentlessly, but the humans used every trick they knew. They dodged, feinted, and coordinated attacks in ways that the aliens did not expect. The Ardent moved like a phantom, striking weak points and guiding the humans through the chaos. Mia Jordan found herself in the thick of the fight, dodging enemy fire and targeting vulnerable ships. Fear gripped her for a moment, but Clara's calm guidance kept her focused. Left climb, then fire, Clara instructed. Mia followed, and her shot disabled an enemy fighter. She felt a surge of pride and adrenaline. Humans were not just surviving, they were learning to fight like the universe had never seen. The battle intensified. Explosions lit up the darkness of space, and the debris from destroyed ships floated like deadly confetti. The humans pressed their advantage, striking with intelligence, courage, and coordination. The Zephyrians were powerful, but they could not match the humans' determination. Lucas watched the unfolding chaos, calculating every move. The human fleet had the advantage of adaptability, courage, and surprise. They were striking the Zephyrians in ways the aliens had not anticipated. The humans' creativity in battle, combined with the Ardent's advanced capabilities, was slowly turning the tide. Clara detected the enemy command ship attempting to escape. Captain, the command ship is trying to flee. We must stop it, or the rest of the fleet will regroup. Lucas nodded. All units target the command ship. Strike together. Do not let it escape. Energy beams, missiles, and laser fire converged on the command ship. The humans moved as one, coordinated and precise. The Zephyrians tried to respond, but confusion and fear slowed them down. One by one, their defenses fell. The command ship shuddered under the relentless assault. Mia fired the final shot, breaching the hull. A massive explosion rocked the ship, sending debris flying. The remaining Zephyrian forces scattered in disarray. The human fleet had achieved a decisive victory, striking fear into the enemy and disrupting their plans. Lucas allowed himself a brief smile. We did it. We've crippled their command. This will buy Earth time to prepare for the next attack. Clara's voice came over the comms, calm and approving. Well done, humans. You fought with courage, intelligence, and determination. This is only the beginning, but you have shown your potential. The human fleet regrouped, repairing damaged ships and tending to the wounded. Lucas walked among his crew, speaking to each pilot, offering encouragement and guidance. The humans were tired, but their spirits were high. They had faced a superior enemy and emerged victorious. Outside the Aurora Sentinel, the stars shone quietly. The debris of destroyed ships floated through space, reminders of the cost of survival. But among the humans, a new fire burned, a fire of determination, courage, and hope. The battle had been won, but the war was far from over. Lucas looked at the stars and thought about Earth below. The planet had been threatened, yet the humans had proven their strength. Their courage, determination, and adaptability made them a force the universe could not ignore. Clara hovered nearby, observing the fleet. She had chosen to intervene, to fight alongside humans, and she had seen their potential. They were clever, brave, and willing to risk everything to protect their home. She felt admiration for their spirit and determination. Lucas realized something important. The human strength was not just in technology. It was in their courage, adaptability, and the will to survive. They had proven they could face impossible odds and endure. The fleet moved back toward Earth to regroup, but Lucas knew the Zephyrians would return. They would come with more ships, more weapons, and a new plan. But for now, the humans had hope, skill, and a powerful ally in the Ardent. The stars above Earth seemed brighter as the fleet returned, carrying a message to the universe. Humans would not give up. Humans would fight, and humans would survive. Clara's voice came over the comms one last time as they prepared to re-enter Earth's orbit. Remember, humans are not just survivors. You are fighters, strategists, and leaders. You have the potential to change the universe, but you must always believe in yourselves. Lucas nodded. We will. Thank you, Clara. Your help made all the difference. Outside the ship, the stars stretched infinitely, silent witnesses to the battles above Earth. The human fleet floated among them, tired but undefeated. The debris of destroyed ships reminded them of the cost, but also of the victories they had earned. And somewhere in the quiet of space, Clara watched the human fleet with quiet admiration. She had chosen to fight alongside them, and she knew that humans were more than they seemed. They were clever, brave, and unpredictable. Lucas looked at Earth below, his home planet. It was still in danger, but humanity had proven something important. They could rise to any challenge. They could fight, survive, and even triumph against impossible odds. The humans had learned from the Ardent, but they had also discovered something about themselves. They were capable of more than they had ever imagined. They could fight, endure, and prevail when the universe expected them to fail. The stars above Earth shone silently as the fleet returned, carrying a message to the universe. Humans would not surrender. Humans would adapt. Humans would survive. And in that quiet moment, Lucas understood something important. Humans were not just fighters. They were survivors, innovators, and a force that the universe could never truly predict. With courage, intelligence, and allies like the Ardent, they could face any challenge and endure. The war for Earth was far from over, but humanity had already shown the universe that it would not be defeated easily. The calm after the battle was deceptive. Earth's orbit was still tense, and Captain Lucas Grant knew that the Zephyrians were preparing their final assault. The human fleet had won previous skirmishes, but they could not afford to underestimate the enemy. Lucas walked across the bridge of the Aurora Sentinel, watching the crew as they prepared for the fight to come. Their exhaustion was visible, yet their resolve was unshakable. Every pilot, engineer, and soldier knew the stakes. "Kara, status report," Lucas said, his voice steady. "All ships are ready, sir. Shields and weapons are fully operational. The pilots are focused and determined." "The Zephyrians are approaching faster than expected, but we have a chance to strike first if we act quickly," she replied. Lucas nodded. "Good, we won't wait for them. We strike first, and this time we end it." The Ardent hovered nearby, its sleek hull gleaming under the distant starlight. Clara Vaughn had been observing the enemy fleet from afar, analyzing their movements and strategies. She knew that the Zephyrians were planning a coordinated attack, using every ship and weapon in their arsenal. But she also knew that humans had an advantage: creativity, courage, and unpredictability. "Captain," Clara said over the comms, "the Zephyrians are concentrating their main fleet near the outer ring of asteroids. They expect a frontal attack. We can use that against them. I have a plan, but it requires precise timing and coordination." Lucas clenched his fists. "Do it. All units follow the Ardent. Stay close and trust in the plan. Humanity will not be defeated today." The human fleet moved carefully into position. Pilots checked their systems, engineers monitored shields, and soldiers prepared for every possibility. The tension on the bridge was palpable, but Lucas's calm presence steadied them. He had faced impossible odds before, and he knew that the humans could succeed if they worked together. Mia Jordan, the young fighter pilot, tightened her grip on the controls. She had survived countless battles and had learned to trust the Ardent's guidance. This time, the stakes were higher. The Zephyrians had learned from previous encounters, and their attacks would be relentless. But Mia felt a surge of determination. Humans had survived worse, and they had grown stronger with every challenge. Clara guided the fleet through the asteroid ring, using the shadows and debris to hide their movements. The Zephyrians were unaware of the humans' true position. The humans would strike from an unexpected angle, hitting the enemy where they were weakest. "Captain, we're in position," Clara said. "Prepare to engage on my signal. Timing is critical. Any mistake could cost us everything." Lucas took a deep breath. "All units ready yourselves. Stick to the plan. Trust each other. Trust the Ardent." The moment arrived. Clara activated the Ardent's energy disruptors, sending a pulse that temporarily disabled the Zephyrians' shields and weapons. The human fleet surged forward, attacking with precision and coordination. Energy beams, missiles, and lasers converged on the enemy ships. Explosions lit up space as the humans struck with intelligence and courage. The Zephyrians scrambled to respond, but the humans were already inside their defenses. The surprise attack caused confusion and fear among the enemy pilots. They fired wildly, but the humans dodged and countered, striking at critical systems. Lucas watched the battle unfold on the screens. The humans were fighting not just with weapons, but with strategy, creativity, and determination. The Ardent moved like a phantom, guiding the fleet and striking at weak points. Every human pilot followed its lead, coordinated and precise. Mia Jordan found herself facing a squadron of enemy fighters. Her hands trembled for a moment, but Clara's voice guided her. "Left, climb, then fire. Follow the rhythm," Mia bade. Her shots disabled several enemy ships, and she felt a surge of pride and adrenaline. Humans were not just surviving, they were fighting like no one had expected. They were clever, adaptive, and fearless. The battle raged for hours. The human fleet pushed deeper into the enemy formation, targeting the Zephyrians, command ships, and supply lines. The enemy fought back with everything they had, but they were disorganized and confused. The humans had turned the battle into a war of intelligence, speed, and courage. Lucas coordinated every move, issuing orders with precision. "All units, focus fire on the command ship, protect each other, strike together." Clara guided the attack. The command ship shook under the relentless assault. Its shields flickered, its weapons faltered, and its pilots panicked. The human fleet pressed their advantage, striking from multiple angles. Mia fired the final shot that breached the command ship's hull. A massive explosion rocked the vessel, sending debris flying in all directions. The remaining Zephyrian forces scattered, their morale shattered. The human fleet had achieved a decisive victory. Lucas allowed himself a rare smile. "We did it. The enemy command is gone. Their fleet is in disarray. Earth has survived another attack." Clara's voice came over the comms, calm and approving. "Well done, humans. You fought with courage, intelligence, and unity. This victory will be remembered across the stars." The human fleet regrouped, repairing ships and attending to the wounded. Lucas walked among his crew, offering words of encouragement and praise. They were tired, battle-worn, but their spirits were high. Humans had faced overwhelming odds and emerged victorious. Outside the Aurora Sentinel, the stars were quiet. The debris of destroyed ships floated through space, silent witnesses to the cost of the battle. But among the humans, a new fire burned, a fire of determination, courage, and hope. They had survived, they had adapted, and they had triumphed. Lucas looked at Earth below. His home planet had been threatened, yet humans had proven their strength. Their courage, ingenuity, and determination made them a force the universe could not ignore. Clara hovered nearby, observing the fleet. She had chosen to fight alongside humans, and she had seen their potential. They were clever, brave, and willing to risk everything to protect their home. She felt admiration for their spirit. The human strength was not in technology alone. It was in their ability to adapt, to think quickly, and to fight with courage against impossible odds. Lucas understood that this was what made humans different from any other species in the galaxy. The Zephyrians would recover, regroup, and attempt another attack. But now, humans had experience, strategy, and confidence. They had shown the universe that they were not to be underestimated. Mia Jordan rested for a moment, looking out at the stars. She thought about the battles they had fought, the lives they had saved, and the courage they had shown. Humans were not perfect, but they were resilient, and they would continue to fight for their home. Clara spoke over the comms one last time. "Captain, remember this. Humans are not just survivors. You are warriors, thinkers, and leaders. You have the power to shape the universe, but you must always believe in yourselves." Lucas nodded. We will. Thank you, Clara. Your help made all the difference. The fleet returned to Earth's orbit, carrying a message to the universe. Humans would not surrender. Humans would fight. Humans would survive. As they entered orbit, Lucas addressed the crew one final time. We have faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. This is proof that humanity will endure no matter what comes. We are fighters, survivors, and a force to be reckoned with. Remember this moment. Remember what we are capable of. Earth is ours to protect, and we will never give up. The crew cheered, a sound of unity, pride, and hope. They had survived the war, proven their strength, and shown that humans were a force the galaxy could not ignore. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to the victories and sacrifices of humanity. The human fleet floated among them, tired but undefeated. The debris of destroyed ships reminded them of the cost of survival, but also of the victories they had earned. Clara watched silently from the Ardent. She had seen countless species, civilizations rise and fall. But humans were unique. Their courage, adaptability, and determination set them apart. They were not just survivors, they were leaders, fighters, and a force that would shape the future of the galaxy. Lucas looked down at Earth. The planet was safe for now, but he knew the war was not over. The Zephyrians would return, but humanity was ready. They had fought, survived, and learned. They were clever, brave, and determined. And now the universe knew it too. The stars above Earth shone brighter as the fleet returned, carrying a message. Humans would not be defeated. Humans would fight. Humans would survive. And somewhere in the vastness of space, Clara Vaughn smiled quietly. She had chosen to intervene, to fight alongside humans, and she knew that the universe would never underestimate them again. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not by luck or technology, but by courage, determination, and the will to survive. The war for Earth had ended, but humanity's legend had only just begun.